in simplicity. I'm the measure of infinity. Yeah, I am in tranquility. I live in simplicity. I'm the measure of infinity.
I'd like to welcome you into another eye-opening and informative episode of Mii Kasi Su Kasii on the ACWS network. Ntsika Mayekiso. Please lock in, drop a fire emoji in the comments, let your friends know about this as we explore the hidden stories and the untold stories of our Kasis. Danko. Today's episode is titled Qwa-Qwa, Her Sisters, and the Forgotten Fires of the Free State. We explore the histories and the struggles of Bloemfontein, Qwa-Qwa, and other nearby towns, tracing revolution, survival, and the hidden bloodlines that shaped this land. Before Bloemfontein had a name, this land breathed through the Sand people. Their rock art still whispers across the caves. The Khoikhoi herded livestock here. Later, the Qwa-Qwa, the Bataung, and the Bakwena, all Basotho tribes, settled here. Bloemfontein received its name officially in 1846, and its name roughly translates the fountain of flowers. But before that, the land only had spiritual borders. Difaqane, which loosely translates forced migration, was sparked by Shaka Zulu in the 1800s. This caused mass displacement, merging and scattering of the clans. In the midst of this though, Moshoeshoe the first gathered survivors and built a refuge on Thaba Bosiu in today's Lesotho. That mountain became the symbol of unity. When the Boer arrived, they claimed the land and formed the Orange Free State Republic in 1854, white-led and backed by their British counterparts. But beneath this new order, old bloodlines definitely lingered. The Basotho, Sotho-speaking Nguni people like the Hlubi and the refugee San had coexisted in tense peace. Qwa-Qwa, before it became a homeland, was the land between empires, Lesotho and the Orange Free State. It became, thus, a reservoir of dislocated or relocated ethnic tribes. The Hlubi people, particularly under Chief Langalibalele II, were moved here from Drakensberg after resisting British colonial rule in the 1870s. As apartheid formalized the Bantu stance, Qwa-Qwa was marked for southern Sotho-speaking people, yet that categorization forgot about the interwoven bloodlines, the Hlubi, the Puti, the San. All these influences mingled in their surnames, their rituals, and their spiritual cosmology. The Basotho Wars between 1858 and 1868 were not just about territory. They were also about survival. The Basotho continuously defended their homes against the Boer settlers. The Battle of Thaba Bosiu, which occurred on the 18th of August 1865, saw repeated armed Boer attacks. They failed, fortunately. They failed to invade the mountain, although they did burn the villages down and they stole livestock. Somehow Britain stepped in and annexed Basotho land in 1868, separating it from the Free State. In 1800, 32 years later, the Boers would get their revenge on the British for annexing Basotho land from the Orange Free State. In the Battle of Sana's Post, which took place outside of Bloemfontein, where Boer commandos ambushed British forces near a water pump, this was one of their rare victories. Yet, as always, black people suffered the most. Black porters who carried the supplies were lost in captive duty forever, never to be acknowledged. Resistance in Free State took many forms. In rural areas, rebellion hid in plain sight. Stock theft, sabotage, and straight-up migration. This is how our people continued to defy the state at the time. In Qwa-Qwa, spiritual leaders turned into submissive organizers. By 1950, land removals intensified. Mapaseka Moshoeshoe, a descendant of the Lesotho royal bloodline, protested forced removals in Kestel. She was arrested and humiliated publicly, and her trial remains missing from state archives till date. Now, we come to a small township in Bloemfontein that's said to have birthed resistance. Waaihoek. In 1912, African leaders gathered in a Wesleyan church, and that meeting birthed the South African Native National Congress, later renamed to the ANC. Present at this meeting was Utatu Saul Blakey, who was a linguist, a journalist, and an activist, as well as Utatu John Dube, as well as Utatu Pixley Ka Sene. Soon after, Umambo Charlotte Maxeke led the Bantu Women's League, challenging both racism and patriarchy at the time. In the 1980s, Botshabelo students boycotted Bantu education
and Afrikaans in the aftermath of the 1976 Soweto tragedy, and tear gas was something that was very prevalent in their classrooms. Some would never return to the classes. Qwa-Qwa followed suit as well. Schools like Lekgolo and Ntsika became hubs for underground cells of Umkhonto weSizwe, Apla, and Azadla. And no, I do not mean the MK Kazuma now, I mean the MK Kazuma yakdala. Meetings were held in secret, songs were sang, and they held hidden meanings. Ntate Vincent Mahlatsi, a leader and a teacher, an organizer as well, who linked youth resistance to armed wings. In 1986, he was murdered. Authorities claimed it was criminal, but many claimed it was political. Betrayal from within or execution from the state, we will never know. There was no trial, hence no closure. Even fire can't erase memory. In Hayden Dal, jazz spoke the African truth. Andries Maastorp, Freda Appel, and the soul jazzmen kept the spirits alive in shebeens and in train stations. And in the eastern part of Free State, women like Umamumake Mafukeng merged hymns with ancestral rites, lighting candles while speaking to our ancestors. At Qwa-Qwa universities, lecturers like Mohape Mokgoro and Prof. Ramakatsa preserved African thought under watchful eyes. Letladi Mukwena, a painter who chronicled erased stories, should never be forgotten. Umama Maria Moloi trained young girl boxers in Vicksburg back when black athletes were banned. Free State also has a hidden histories dimension to it. Nguni traces in their surnames, in their praise poetry, as well as spirituality. There's sand roots in the name of places and in sacred lands as well. Jewish communities in Kroostal and Bethuli also helped shape trade and law, sometimes even supporting liberation quietly. And in Harrismith, Umamo Esther Mhlophe hosted political exiles from Lesotho, many dubbing her home the last safe door before the mountain. From Qwa-Qwa's mist to Bloemfontein's colonial walls, Free State is not just a geography, it is layered history. It is the depiction of a struggle, it is the beauty of becoming, and it's the becoming of a nation. Here, revolutions were whispered before they were spoken. Here, history walked before even maps were drawn. Let's not forget the stories, let's not forget the names. This is our story too. This has been Ntsika Mayekiso for the ACWS network on Mii Kasi Su Kasii, Qwa-Qwa, her sisters, and the forgotten fires of Free State. Walk with us next time as we uncover these forgotten gems. Let you not forget the stories of your hood. Follow us, share, and send this to somebody who needs to hear it. Our story is not behind us. Our history is not behind us. It lives right within us. Masbo, Dango.